Okay, so on this channel, I have a lot of embarrassing moments in my life, and I will admit, even though some of them are really out of pocket, they are really entertaining. But today's story is a bit personal, and honestly, I won't lie to you. If you can see the title of this video, yes, I used to be a one-pump chump. What does that mean? Well, today's story will explain it all, but before we get into the story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you guys don't subscribe, you guys will also be a one-pump chump. So press that like button and subscribe to not be one. But other than that, let's just jump into this insane, crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to an embarrassing story. So this story takes place back when I was actually, I want to say like 5 years ago almost. So this was, I want to say, grade 10 year. Now in grade 10, I did a lot of different things, you know, and one thing I will say is that around grade 10, I was doing more of the devil's tango than I expected. But obviously, with great power comes great responsibility. Don't ask why I'm quoting Spider-Man. It's just, I don't know, moments like these, I get emotional when I talk about my success of smashing so many women, even though I don't know if it's really success to do the devil's tango, but we'll consider it. Anyways, today's story starts back in grade 10, and I remember in grade 10, I had a fling with this girl. Basically, me and this girl were friends with benefits, and me and her, we'd always talk over Snapchat and, you know, send each other photos and stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, those photos. By the way, you shouldn't send those photos. It's not good for you to do, but yeah, those photos. And basically I would always, like, you know, train myself to beat one out and, you know, do the devil's cream, so that when the day comes of me and actually her doing the devil's tango, I'd be prepared. Now, one thing I will say is that, yeah, sometimes I was really shy with my performance and things, and I will say this much, I never wanted to not let the girl finish first before I did. But this one time, and I mean this only one time, things were really bad. Because I remember one time in school when I was walking down the hallway in my grade 10 year, my friends with benefits ended up walking up to me. Now, usually she would walk up to me and talk to me when we were heading to our socials class that we had together. But as we were walking to socials class, she told me, "Hey, Bubba, my parents won't be home this weekend, so like if you want to come over and sleep over, you can." Oh, yeah, like I'm down. Sure, I'll come over this weekend. Now, obviously, I was gonna come over. There was no way I wasn't gonna come over and come over. Okay, sorry, that sounds inappropriate. Going on though. So from there, we ended up going through social studies class, and then afterwards, she ended up telling me the plan for me to go over. After planning it out, I basically got the idea of what to do. Basically, go in there, do my deed, and walk out. I wasn't actually gonna plan on staying the night. I don't know what kind of guy stays the night if you're not dating the chick, and this chick was only a friends with benefits to me, so to be honest, I could care less. And then I remember basically the next day on a Friday, I ended up basically going over to her house after school, and from there, when I got to her place, I was really excited. I ended up going, you know, to her place, and she let me in. We ended up going straight up to her room, and when we sat down on her bed, I realized that she had a flat screen TV to watch, like, you know, a movie or something. So when I was sitting there, you know, to transition nicely to the, you know, the devil's tango, I asked her if it was cool if we watched like some, like, you know, cool, funny, but yet kind of romantic movie. We ended up putting the movie Grown Ups. I don't know why. Grown Ups is a great movie. I love the movie. But to watch it during the devil's tango, it made no sense, but I mean, it worked anyway. And basically from there, me and her, we started laying down and watching the movie. Now, when we were watching the movie, I remember she ended up looking over at me saying, "Bubba, like, do you want to, like, I don't know, like, go for it?" What is what I said afterwards. I was really nervous and I didn't know what to say. But then afterwards, she ended up actually grabbing my leg and started going for my eggplant. And at that moment, I kind of startled. Because yes, at this time, I did do the devil's tango before her. But one thing about this girl is that, you know, like those types of girls that you look at and they're just automatically like super attractive to the point where like you don't know if you're going to perform well enough for her. I was basically having one of those moments. So at that point, I remember I started kind of like panicking a little bit and I started watching the movie. And when a funny scene ended up popping up on the movie Grown Ups, I ended up basically laughing really out loud to kind of clear the awkwardness. She ended up laughing with me so that, you know, it wouldn't be as awkward as well. But then she ended up telling me, "Are you like nervous or something?" As she ended up literally hopping on top of me. Now at that moment, when she hopped on top of me, I said, "Screw it. It is time to perform." So from there, me and her, we basically started making out over and over. And then she, you know, reached for my... Yeah, you know, I can't really describe it in detail because, well, YouTube will demonetize this video, but you can kind of get an idea of what happened. And then from there, I remember I ended up basically, like, you know, kind of freaking out, you know, kind of nervous. But then afterwards, I remember right as I'm like, you know, about to like take off my pants and put it in her, yeah, let's just say I ended up basically putting it once in, and when I pulled it out, I was done. Yeah, I did the devil's creep. After one stroke. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain this story. It is super embarrassing. And the fact that I'm telling this on YouTube, honestly, YouTube, don't demonetize me, please. I understand this is really out of pocket, but you gotta understand there's a lot more worse things on YouTube. But yeah, basically from there, I ended up doing the devil's creep. And I ended up doing it on her peach. And she looked over and turned around and said, did you finish? No. I'm just getting started, is what I told her. But then right as I'm looking down at my eggplant, I realized that yeah, you know, it just wasn't working. So from there, I ended up telling her, oh, actually, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. So I go to the bathroom and I start like kind of giving myself a motivational speech in my head to basically get my eggplant going. And it got to the point where I ended up actually going on my phone and started searching up like the devil's hub to basically get my brain into that active mode. But it wasn't working. I did my deed. It happened. It was done. What was done is done. I won't lie to you. I was super embarrassed and I didn't know what to do. So I remember I ended up going out there and I told her, listen, like, I got a lot of things in my mind and like, you know, like my brain isn't just working right now. I'm gonna be honest, like I can't do this. She ended up looking at me saying, oh, like, is everything all right? Like, do you want to talk about it? So instead, I basically pretended to trauma dump her with like, you know, things that were going on when things weren't actually going on. I don't know. I had to BS my way out of this one and apparently I did. But yeah, that is basically it for today's story. Super embarrassing, super short, but honestly, what can I say? That was the only time when I was the one pump chump. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's video. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join me live on Kick streaming telling crazy stories just like this one. Anyways, peace out, guys.